Hello and welcome along to the Where's My Kit Bag podcast here, supplied to you by the three lovely media and film technicians here at the Media and Film Department in the Sixth Form College, Farnborough. With myself, James.
And me, Will.
And me, Steve.
We complete your lovely trio for Where's My Kit Bag. So this week, starting us off, Mr. Steve, have there been any developments with any sort of TechNet videos on our YouTube channel, good sir?
So, nothing was uploaded on Monday, and that is because we have upped our production value, even though it was still £0 and 0 pence, and we've been working quite hard on something recently.
A nice little project.
Yeah, nice little project, really educational. I can let you know what it's about. It's going over different types of lighting and giving it a bit of context. Because one of the things that when I was a student I found very frustrating is learning about something, but really struggling to put it into practice. And I think this video has done both. And it has a second part, a behind the scenes.
Yes.
Don't worry, it's not a meme video. It's actually
quite informative, isn't it? Really,
quite informative. It's quite a nice bit of video.
There are parts you could deem as memey, though.
Slightly.
Let's be honest.
What do you expect?
Come on, yeah.
I've seen some great freeze frames. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, look out for it. I think it'll certainly
when do you think
get.
It'll hit the screen, Steve?
It could be this time next week.
Ooh.
Might not be Monday, because it needs a bit of tweaking. Needs some color grading.
Oh.
But no, I don't think this one will be set to a Monday. I'm not sure. I think once it's done, we'll just get it up.
Yeah, we'll get it out there.
But it does require, and I'm not going to spoil anything. It does require some student interaction, and that will all become clear when it's released.
Hey,
so
nice.
Look forward to that.
Sorted.
Keep an eye out.
Sounds like a fantastic plan you have.
Yeah.
And the little behind the scenes video we're gonna have come along pretty soon after that, I think,
Yes.
wouldn't it? Yeah, which shouldn't take too long to create that afterwards. And then that's going to be the really sort of informative one, and that'll kind of help your understanding, especially with the topic. So probably just watch one after the other, I think. It's probably the best idea to do.
That sounds like a great plan. Anywho, moving on to any fresh technology news. Will, what have you got for us? I can see a long list involving the word Sony several times.
Oh, yes. Well, I want a little jingle for this tech news bit, like a little robot
tech
beep.
News.
Beep, boop, boop, boop.
That's all you're getting.
Okay, we'll
the extent of my voice. Tech news.
All right, so
I'll make one for you.
Right as we finished the podcast last week, Sony announced a new camera. Way! As you know, I'm a massive Sony fanboy, so I was right on this, looking up all the stats, details, and everything.
If only I had a sound effects. If only If only I had a sound effects board, I could play like tumbleweed, all sorts. It'd be great fun.
It's quite cool. It's an APS-C size sensor. It's about £1,000, including the lens. It shoots 4K 4K. At 30. It has a weird flip up screen, so it doesn't flip out to the side, it flips above the camera, which I think is kind of pointless because they're saying it's for vloggers, blah blah blah, but as soon as you put a Rode video mic, which every vlogger does, on top of the camera, you can't see the screen anymore.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so it's a bit weird on that sense. Image quality is obviously fantastic. The big thing that I was interested about, because I'm a Sony user, is Sony of doing a firmware update to most of their Alpha series, so like the A7 Mark III and above basically. And some of the APS-C cameras, they're adding now animal eye tracking, which is pretty amazing. They were doing it with like things from like seagulls, all the way up to like tigers and stuff like that. They've basically programmed millions of eyes into their AI system. And when you're using these big telephoto lenses, you can use that eye tracking feature that the Sonys are known for with animals now. So I think wildlife photographers are going to get absolutely crazy over that. Sony's kind of the first. I think some companies are working on it at the moment, but Sony's the first to implement it at this sort of rate. And they've also added this really nice feature where in video you can actually do a continuous auto track, but it'll also track into onto the eye as well, and it'll switch between it automatically. You don't have to press any buttons. So if anything, Sony's autofocus is somehow improved just through software, which is pretty cool. That was a quite good development. Also in the news, Apple have been getting into a bit of trouble. They've had their pockets dipped into by a few companies. First, notably, they had their iPhone sales stopped in China. Interestingly enough.
Yep.
And this was due to a software issue that Qualcomm were claiming they were kind of infringing on some of their rights, which led to all the iPhones being temporarily stopped sales of, which is that's quite a lot of money's worth we're talking.
Yes, it was.
Luckily, because it was software, they kind of fixed it and then it resumed. However, in Germany, Qualcomm have spent something like $1 billion.
$1.2 billion.
$1.2 billion.
Obviously, you just have that lying around your back pocket.
Suing Apple.
Wow.
Yeah. And they've done it, and it's succeeded. It's got through the courts, and Apple can no longer sell iPhone 7s and 8s in Germany.
Yeah, I think it's anything previous up to, I think it was an 8,
yeah.
But I don't know if it's like any iterations of 8, like an 8X Plus or an 8XS or an 8XL, XL.
It's not the S's, you know.
No, DSi XL, XL3.
But no, I thought it was really interesting. The reason it's because of that is it's a hardware issue now. So obviously it's not something they can just kind of send out a fix for. So all those units are kind of sat there. I guess they've got to ship them around, move them around. It's just quite interesting. I thought, Apple's such a giant in the field, and it's nice these other companies Qualcomm's known for their processors in most Android phones.
Yep.
They're putting up a fight. They're not just going to let Apple walk all over them, especially if they're stealing their tech, which is what it's all sort of revolving around. Which is also quite interesting. And Google was hit with a big fine as well. I believe it was in France, and that was to do with basically a data breach.
Good old GDPR.
Yeah, GDPR striking
again.
Well, strikes. This is the big first strike we've heard about it, and that came out as a £44 million fine.
Which for Google is probably like
a drop
cough.
a penny. Yeah, literally. So,
oh, there it is.
Yeah. I suppose it's to show that businesses can get hit by it. I think that's what.
And even someone as big as Google as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think as soon as it kind of went live, there was that big stint where people were like, "Oh, quick, send out all the emails. We need to get everybody to sign up to our GDPR and stuff like that." It kind of died off a bit now, and I think this was just like a little refresh for people to, keep an eye on it, watch out because it's gonna bite you, and it's gonna bite hard. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that was kind of quick roundup of little things that's happened, sort of cameras and tech related. But I'll keep an eye out, and if you see anything, just let me know, and I can bring it up in the next session.
Nice. Are we going to mention the next thing that is
I
vaguely
thought,
amusing, Will?
I thought I'd pass this over to you, actually, if you wanted to talk a little bit about this
one. I'll mention it in briefly. As some people who may be familiar with the internet know, YouTube basically, would you call him a superstar or just YouTube? Well, but YouTube kind of like
celebrity?
Yes, let's go celebrity. Obviously, PewDiePie, aka Felix, can never remember how to pronounce his surname, is obviously in an ongoing battle with T-Series, the sort of Indian video conglomerate who just post content like so fast it's ridiculous. But they're currently in a subscriber war. In case you weren't aware of the internet, it's been pretty much everywhere. YouTubers have been coming out supporting him, like companies, film actors. It's been on billboards around the world. Fans of the series have like paid with their own money to like flyer like streets, like blocks on blocks of subscribe to PewDiePie. People have been hacking fax machines to send faxes and hacking printers, so it just prints out this little message going, "By the way, your printer is really weak. Oh, but while you're here and reading this, subscribe to PewDiePie," which I think is quite, it's quite clever in a way, but also very bad. Having your printers open to the internet, the kind of rate between the two is very, very close. The other day I looked, it was like under 1 million subs between the two of them, probably like 100,000, which in that kind of value is nothing. But I saw an article in the Metro the other day that says UKIP stands with PewDiePie against T-Series.
Boom.
I'm like, so is this fight now getting political? What do we think?
Well, Steve mentioned it earlier, and I think I mentioned it to you before. A pretty smart PR move from them, I think.
Albeit a little late.
Yeah,
a little late to try and appeal to the young audience, even though I don't think they have any seats left in the House of Commons. I think they were totally taken out. I can't remember. Someone will fact check us, I'm sure. But yeah, so I just thought that was quite an amusing story because I love the Metro for some of their bizarre stories they chuck out. But yeah, no. So UKIP stands with PewDiePie. I have no idea what the current subscriber count is. I think it was very, very close last time I checked yesterday. So by now, one of them has probably leapt in front of the other again. Or something.
Nice.
But hey-o, if you like that kind of thing, go read the Metro. It's always a good laugh. Anywho, if you were watching, was it Tuesday? Yesterday. It was yesterday, wasn't it? The Oscar nominations came out.
Ooh.
Woo! I should really have like some awards noises to play.
Yeah.
Let's talk through a couple of the categories, not all of them. You can obviously go and read the entire list online, either on the Oscars website or on like every other website under the sun. So I think obviously we'll probably focus on the main one, Best Picture.
Sure, yeah, let's look through that.
What do we think of the 8 nominees, you two? What do we reckon?
Now, out of them, I've seen...
Do you want me to list them all first?
I've seen 4 of them. Yeah, go. Yeah, maybe
so the 8 films in alphabetical order, obviously not including those, is Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favourite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice. So those are your 8 Best Picture nominees. First question, have we seen any of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through... I've seen Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favourite. I'm planning on watching Roma tonight, actually.
Ooh.
Green Book's very high on my to-watch list. But that's all I've seen.
Vice isn't even out yet.
No. No, it's not. So.
I've got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
As I said to you at lunch, Bell, this is the first year where I'm like, I looked at the list and I was like, I've seen hardly any of these. And of the 8 best pictures, I've only seen Black Panther.
Ditto.
Whoa.
It's one of those ones. I'll be honest.
Yep.
I've no excuse for it.
I've seen the trailer for most of them.
Yep.
I've seen trailers for Black Klansman, Bo Rap, Favourite, Green Book, and A Star Is Born. I've not seen anything about Roma or Vice.
Likewise,
gotta say,
and The Favourite for me. It's a bit foreign to me. I'm not doing anything about that.
I mean, obviously the fact that Marvel's now in the best picture phase, that's quite a big
that is
bold
a big
step
deal.
for them.
That is a big deal.
Is there a bit of that sort of like political nature around it? I think there's a little bit of that, but if you look at it as an actual film, did Marvel fans enjoy it? Absolutely. Did the general population of the audience? Absolutely. I think it is their highest grossing film now, isn't it? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
I think
it's definitely in the top 3.
It's definitely nudged out the other Avengers, not the Infinity War one. I think Black Panther might be the most successful.
So obviously they're massive success. And the soundtrack I actually really enjoyed. They got quite a lot of big name artists on it as well. I believe some of the soundtracks nominated later on as well.
Sound editing, they're up for that, and
Kendrick
they're
Lamar's
up for
song.
they're up for sound editing, sound mixing, production design, original score, original song. I think, original song, costume design. Infinity War is up for visual effects, and I think that's it. But they've got no acting nominations though, just purely for best film, which I always find quite bizarre. Where you've got like the best film, or like something nominated for best film, doesn't have any actors from it in either leading actor or actress nomination. I always find that a bit bizarre, or vice versa.
I think you're on something with that.
Yeah, but the best film might not necessarily have the best acting, or someone could be like absolutely performing their like backside off in one film, but the film as a whole is a bit.
Well, I think the opposite to the Black Panther in your statement there then would be like something like Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. Where it's almost carried by one person.
I have read that Rami Malek's performance is unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. It's like you're watching Freddie Mercury. It's pretty crazy. I know there was a lot of debate around it about like timelines. I think was a real issue with most fans. But you know, I'm a fan of Queen. I like their songs. I wasn't too fussed about the sort of order of things. And as a viewing experience, absolutely loved it. A lot of passion, a lot of emotion in it. And the cinematography in the end sequence was crazy. And I didn't realise until someone told me the other day, and I went and watched it, is that they almost copied the Live Aid cinematography from the actual television show.
Wow!
Like picture for picture.
That's really
and it was really, really cool. It was just like a few extra shots they added in, so it was a nice touch. So if anybody watched that live, then I think they would have picked up on that pretty quickly as well. So that was really cool.
Do we reckon there's any other sort of categories that we think are just like, oh, that film or person's going to walk it, or is there any that you think are quite...
I've not seen A Star Is Born yet.
Nor have I, actually.
I don't know why, but something about Lady Gaga being nominated just feels
Does
really
it
wrong.
grind your gears?
Yeah, but I haven't even seen the film, so I can't really
That's
say
true.
anything. But
Can't comment.
yeah,
Unless you've seen it.
you've seen it, haven't you, Bill?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I've
no.
seen the trailer and I've
okay.
heard the song numerous times.
Oh right, okay.
So the song's a bit annoying to me
Yeah.
now. But I could very easily see that song winning for the original.
We'll see. We'll see.
Original
I mean, who knows if she'll win that? I'll be quite surprised.
Who knows?
I really
was
hope
surprised.
Olivia Colman wins because
Yes,
I think
that'll be
she's going to
quite
be
fun.
like, she's a bit of like a national treasure now. So
Yeah.
and the favourite's fantastic. Like I think I mentioned before when I went to see it in the cinema. I think there was a lot of people of the older demographic in there expecting a nice Downton Abbey period piece.
drama.
Yes, exactly. They're looking for, and then C-bombs start getting dropped around the place. There's all sorts goes on.
Oh,
Let's just believe it.
crikey.
Yeah, and
X-rated
few- yeah.
Downton Abbey.
there were a few coughs and scuffs from the people behind us. Like, yeah,
language.
Philip.
Oh.
Yeah, so we ended up laughing our heads off. We were literally laughing out loud, and I think a few other people in the audience kind of joined in, and it kind of eased it up a little bit. But to start with, I think there was that sudden moment of realization from the audience where this isn't quite the film I thought it was, but it's quite interesting. I'd like to see a study on like marketing for it.
Did anyone leave the cinema?
I did not see anybody leave.
Ooh.
No.
So they
Everybody
stayed,
sat
even
through
though they had a C-bomb, they were like,
Yeah.
yes, I'll stay.
I did. When we came out, there was definitely a split in the audience. Like, oh, that was awful. There was some people were quite disgusted by it. I think
They should not be speaking language.
Did
But
you expect it to be how it was?
I knew it wasn't going to be a period drama in that sense.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Sweet.
Yeah. Really hope Olivia Colman wins that.
Well, one category I think might be potentially the hardest of all is animated feature film,
Yeah, we spoke about this as well, didn't we?
which is you've got what have we got, Steve?
We have The Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs. Is that Mirai?
Mirai.
Mirai,
Yeah,
sorry.
I think
The
it's how they
screen
pronounced
is
it.
quite far away. Ralph Breaks the Internet
Woohoo.
and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I think that's one of the hardest categories, if I'm honest. I've seen 2.5 of those.
I've seen 4 of those.
4.
Yeah, it's only Mirai I haven't seen.
Spider-Man, Ralph,
Yeah.
Isle, Incredibles. Yeah.
Spider-Man was awesome.
I
don't
really
know if
wanted
I'm
to
just
see that,
nerding
and I
out
couldn't
of
get to
that.
the cinema.
Yeah.
It really annoyed me.
I don't know if I'm just nerding out over that. I absolutely loved it. It was so heartfelt.
It might take it, though, for being different to
Could do.
normal
Yeah.
superhero films.
I think Isle of Dogs has a very strong shout. Obviously, you've got the Pixar vote for Incredibles 2. Pixar normally does very well
Incredibles
here.
2 was good, but I don't think it was.
15 years worth waiting.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That had come out in 2005. Oh, that was a really solid
Yeah.
film. Really loved the sequel, but I've seen the first Incredibles film so many times because we've had to wait so long.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Really good film, but
For me,
waited too long.
yeah, I think you're right, Bill. It's kind of like their power just being
the
there.
power of Pixar.
Yeah, the power
Will
of
it just
Pixar.
carry them through?
Yeah.
Loved Isle of Dogs. That was beautiful.
Isle of Dogs was glorious.
Yeah.
Did love that.
I wish I could have gone to the exhibition in London and seen them.
Was that a shake of the head?
I haven't seen it. I
Oh.
was trying to keep quiet. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you
I'll get
can't
there.
keep a head shake silent
I
for
said-
me, boy.
I said on the podcast that I'm into my like animated films at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you need to watch
I
Isle of
need to
Dogs.
get-
It's
need to get on it.
glorious.
Ralph Breaks the Internet's just hilarious. It's just one you go along to and just have a giggle.
I think I've seen it, but I can't remember. Or maybe I'm getting that one confused with the original one.
Probably the original.
Probably the original. I did quite like the original one, to be fair.
I think they're
They plug in like a
amazing.
Wi-Fi router into the arcade,
Oh,
and
God,
then-
viruses.
and they all get access to the
Internet.
So then they go like escape
no.
into the internet.
Oh, no.
I love them.
It's
I think
amazing.
They're my favourite.
The whole
animated
prowess is that they're trying to find this item off eBay. That's what the whole film revolves around.
That's
It's brilliant.
brilliant.
It's just so good. I absolutely love it.
God.
Yeah, that's a great category though.
That is a good category. Any others screaming out to either of you two?
I mean,
or-
I think they let the audience have a little read through. Everyone's got their own opinions of stuff, don't
Absolutely.
they? There's a lot to cover there, but we'll find out soon, won't we? So
yes, I think it's almost a month today.
24th, is it? Yeah.
Yes, I think
yeah.
it almost is literally a month away. But of course, on the podcast, we will talk about the winners when obviously we know who they are.
Absolutely.
And we'll do a little feature on that then. Right, moving on. Film of the week. Obviously,
Ooh.
we challenged Steve, well, now it feels like years ago, to watch First Man. Have you managed to find First Man, Steve?
It's still not around.
Oh,
it's not,
Steve, no.
The thing is, it says here 2-week buffer to watch, otherwise forfeit.
Yeah.
I'm declining that, and I will be watching it.
Oh.
Likewise with Overlord, but
That's an ongoing project for you. You'll probably have to wait to
I'm one of those
DVD online release.
I want to watch it in its best capacity. If people want to read
I
between
would
the
agree with
lines
that.
of that,
Yeah.
I want to
Yes.
watch it in its best capacity. And I think if I was to watch it if it suffered either audio or visually, it would
Detract
influence.
from your
It would
enjoyment.
influence my opinion on it. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you just go and go somewhere naughty? No.
You're a
I'm
proper
legit,
man. You're legit.
Like I'll watch it. It's best.
Well,
capacity.
wait for an Amazon Prime. Or
Exactly.
Netflix,
I'm happy to go and pick up on DVD. With streaming services now, for some reason, they just appear like
Yeah, they come up pretty
sometimes
quick, don't they?
months after cinema release. So, yeah, I mean, what will probably happen is, say, episode 5, maybe even 6. I'll be, oh yeah, I got around to watching it and let you know what I think. But as for now, not just yet.
Right. Otherwise, you lot challenged me to watch.
Oh, this is
What?
going to be interesting.
What did you tell me to watch?
I can't see. I've got my blindfold on.
You can't remember from last week.
Oh, I've got my blindfold on. I can't read the page.
Oh, he got him.
Took a second.
Oh, he
That
got
was
him.
that was a big delay in the brain there. Deary
He
me.
got him.
Kids, shut your eyes. No, it's Birdbox. Now,
Yes.
I've got lots of thoughts on this.
Oh, I
Really
can't wait to hear
interesting.
these. I'm
now-
so intrigued.
Now, I watched this on, I think it was Saturday with my breakfast, because that seems to be when I have
You're
time.
A breakfast
and
horror buff.
I'm a breakfast. I will watch anything. So I watched it, and
Opinions.
I have many opinions.
Let's go. I think it's been out long enough.
That we can.
Yeah,
Is it
so
hashtag,
first-
hashtag
yeah.
spoilergate.
Hashtag Spoilergate.
Where we need a spoiler alarm.
Yeah.
That's another sound effect I'll bring for next week. So I thought it was a mix of 3 films merged into one and done a crapper job. So I thought it had elements of The Mist, as in the, I think, 2007 film The Mist. Also had a TV show on Netflix, which I thought was terrible, or Amazon Prime, can't remember which. So it had elements of The Mist where they're kind of obviously like, oh, let's go to the supermarket and get all our supplies. So it had that common cliche. Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 reboot. It was basically that entire film, but with different scenes. But the kind of same premise of, oh, everything's all hunky-dory. Oh, now everyone's dying. Oh, no. But obviously in Dawn of the Dead, they become zombies. In this, they just, spoiler alert, commit suicide. And then elements of the end of I Am Legend, not the original intended ending, but the ending that was actually put into the film, where he kind of goes, oh, everything's great in a nice little paradise world. Oh, yay. So I thought, literally watching throughout that, I was like, it's Dawn of the Dead, it's Dawn of the Dead, it's Dawn of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. I have no fear here. This is... And then I was just like, oh, look, here's the Quiet Place link. Oh, look. Oh, now we're doing a bit of a flashback. Oh, a little bit of a flash forward. A little bit of a flashback.
So I
Sandra
think the
Bullock's
word you're
being
looking
mean to
for
children.
is unoriginal.
Generic AF.
Yeah.
I was just sat there going,
Did you enjoy watching it at the time, or were you too busy comparing it?
I mean, I think I try and turn off my brain when I'm watching things, but obviously working in this department, I now hyper-analyze everything I watch
that's
now,
the downside, isn't it?
and it's just like, oh god, so generic. Oh look, here's that shot, and there it is.
That's what I did a lot of while I was watching it. There's a lot of it was very predictable in terms of shots.
I liked Sandra Bullock's character, but I hated the situation she was in, because when she was kind of like, oh look, here's this house. Oh, this woman's going to come out and save you. Oh, now she did. And I was just very unimpressed by how predictable it was. Like, oh, this guy's been let into the house, but he's been outside too long. I bet you he's going to be bad. What does he turn out to be? Oh, he's bad. So yeah, I was thoroughly like, I think that is honestly my review is,
There was a lot of moments in it where you're like, really, I think
it could
Steve
have
pointed,
been.
Steve
If
pointed
The
one out to
Quiet
me.
Place wasn't out, I think
Yeah.
it might have got a better reception, and then people would watch The Quiet Place and go, "Oh my days, this is how it should have been done."
I feel like it was almost re-edited to match A Quiet Place, because I think they would have seen the success of that, and they
then
might
tried
have
to
gone,
copy
"Hang
it."
on a second, we've basically got the shots for this film. Let's do it," and try and piggyback off the success. It's just they're trying to make it into a formula, but it's been done a million times before.
I thought the stuff in the boat, in particular,
Yeah.
I was just like, how do you know where you're rowing? no way in hell are both your arms rowing at the same rate. You would have like hit
Yeah.
the side. You would have literally
Oh, no,
beached
no,
yourself.
she's perfectly in the middle.
Capsized multiple times.
You would have, especially in the bit where she goes over the Whitewater Rapids. I was just like, you should all be dead.
Yeah.
No, just don't take your blindfolds off.
And
Don't take your
I
blindfolds
thought
off.
there was that one bit where she was like, one of you gonna have to look. Remember in the boat? And I was like,
Yeah.
that's okay. That this is something getting me interesting, and I think I don't know. Maybe it should have happened. Personally, I think.
Oh,
Like
knock out one of the kids.
yeah, like
Ooh.
well, they're creating fear, and then they're not delivering on the fear throughout the whole film.
But
And so I feel like you're never scared for a character at that point, because between the flashbacks, she's okay, the kids are okay. So yeah, I don't know. Steve made a good point as well. Is that there's a lot of like kind of moments where you're like, why is that even a thing? Like how even all those years into the future, she still calls them boy girl.
That took me away from.
Yeah.
that's
That,
weird.
like what?
I
And
didn't want to like Sandra Bullock's character because of that.
yeah.
Like,
Mm.
I appreciate you were this
almost-
during your pregnancy phase, you didn't want the child, etc., etc. But if you would have slugged 5 years in that world, you would have an emotional attachment to those
Oh
children.
yeah.
Boy, could have just called him Jeff, for
Yeah.
goodness sake.
I mean, again, spoilers. Why not name them what you named them at the end of the film? Yes, I
Earlier.
know it was a big, punch in the chest. Oh, that really got me in the feels. That's what they were going for. But if they had done that earlier, that would have been, that's really a nice, sweet gesture. It's doing it for them.
It would have
you know?
shown character development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What-
In 5 years, you would have
what
matured.
What I thought was interesting was, obviously when the hashtag spoiler alerts and more, when the guy obviously turned out to be evil and had obviously like seen the whatever entity it was and was trying to obviously make the babies look. Surely the babies have no fear because they've just been born. So they don't know what happiness is. They don't know what fear is. So how would that affect the kids?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
I was just kind of like, eh.
I obviously it's open to interpretation as to why they could
Mm.
look, etc., and that's kind of the talking point of
Mm.
getting crowd hype. But at the same time, people would say to me, "Oh, it's because they are from, say, a mental asylum, so they've already seen their worst fears and haven't done anything
Yeah.
to regret." But I disagree. If a foreign entity had influence on you, then it would have impact.
Yeah.
That's the thing I couldn't
Mm.
really understand. If there was a legitimate reason, say in other films and series where something biological has an impact, or again, spoilers, maybe you're blind, funny enough, it just didn't sell it enough, and then
No.
to the point that they could draw them, and then etc., etc. The only thing that I was very pleased about, being of the older generation, quote unquote, is the fact they didn't show them. And if any of you unfortunately follow Lad Bible, of all sources, they actually released. So they did shoot scenes showing the creature, specimen, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they did a very good job in not using it in the final cut, because it's not. It
It's
looks
not
like a
good.
baby, a adult-sized baby that's been stung by a wasp.
Oh.
That's what it looked really bizarre.
Ooh.
Not scary, or
I think nowadays we're just spoiled, aren't we, for
Yeah.
CGI and
Yeah.
it's hard to have something on screen and the special effects to be like, wow.
Yeah.
And,
I applauded
yeah.
the fact that they didn't show it.
And what's better than your imagination coming up with
Exactly.
it?
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
very
like
true.
Alien.
Yeah.
Like the
What-
original Alien.
As an audience, what would I have seen? I wonder what I would have seen.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know what my
What
worst
would your
is.
fear be?
Exactly. And that's why I think they didn't show it, because everyone's is unique and different. However, the younger people that I've spoken to are like, "No, I hate it. You don't see anything. It's not scary."
Yeah,
It's like,
interesting.
I find that difficult. You're
Because
not.
their minds haven't developed enough, or we're
Or they
we're
want
just
it easy.
or we're just too advanced in this department, and we can read into these things.
Maybe I just think horrors these days, they're so spoon-fed
Yes,
that when
very,
you don't get
it's
that,
very lots of show.
yeah,
no
when you're
tell,
not
yeah.
challenged to really think about it
Tell,
as
no
an
show.
audience member yourself, then they don't really engage with it as much. I think that's what I took from it. That's why I thought, well-rounded, problems, as I said last week, very much problems, but it wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it whilst I was watching it, which again, if you're enjoying it while you're watching it, it's entertainment. Enjoy it. But as we've all kind of discussed as time's gone by, it's when the credits roll and you start to think back, you go, hang on a minute, what? and that's where the problems lie. But you know,
I mean, for me, out of 10, I think it's for me 5.
wow,
if that.
nice one.
I was thoroughly underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think is the answer. Anywho, so Steve, another one to add to your collection.
Yeah.
This one I'm actually looking forward to watching.
Bless you. So Will and myself have set Steve to watch what film, Will?
Oh yeah, we're going for Ready Player One. I hit the cinemas
A long time ago.
quite a while ago.
Early last year.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
I think
sometime.
about like. Ooh.
It's available on
Same time as Isle of Dogs, right?
It's available on DVD or online somewhere.
Yes,
That's much we do know.
Yes. I think I want to say it's on Netflix or Prime. I have definitely seen it on there at one point, but it's
Could be.
definitely.
I can't want to make you watch
Blu-ray
it
DVD.
twice. Like once just to watch the film, and then the second time to see how many characters you can recognise that are in it.
that'd be
There's
interesting.
a lot.
We can have a tally sheet going. Yep.
Oh yeah, there's
yep.
Tracer.
Ooh,
Yep.
yep.
That's the Iron Giant. Oh,
Oh, it's a transformer.
it's
Yes.
good. It's I enjoyed it,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
I
this.
liked it. I liked it a lot.
but we're nerds. So,
I do need to watch it again though, because I haven't seen it since we saw it in the
Sure.
cinema.
Because this is the film about, I'm going to get this wrong. Is it the Oasis?
Correct.
Yes,
Am I
yes,
got
it
that
is.
right?
Yes, it is, Steve. Well done.
I had a VR for a few months, so I'm interested to see how this
Oh.
translates.
Has anyone read the book?
No, I've
Funnily
not.
enough, Dan
No.
gave me the book to read, and that
Ooh.
was really good. I've not. I kind of like the book more because the world you envision, like just like in a Birdbox, so like we're talking about the monsters and stuff. Leaving it to the imagination sometimes works better.
Yeah.
And the book was great. Really, really enjoyed reading that.
And you joke and you say, we're nerds, whatever, but even between our own minds individually, our Oasis, let's say, for example, is going to be slightly different. It may have similar things in it,
Yeah,
but our
exactly.
Oasis, I'm using quotation marks here, is unique. So, yeah. I can see that. It's quite cool. No, I want to see this film. I've been looking forward to it. It's one of those ones that flew under the radar. Yep, I'll get around to that. Oh, other films have piqued my interest. And, being a gamer guy myself, being a guy who plays
Gamer
games
guy.
in his spare time,
We're coining
a
that.
film about games. If I had a spare 2.5 hours, I'd
Yeah.
play a game rather than watch a film about games.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
It's worth a
that's
watch.
my-
I quite like it.
Me too.
I think I need a rewatch though. Maybe you should have a technician rewatch.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Cool.
Sounds like good fun. Right, finishing us off is the old tune of the week. Now, I know for a fact both of you have listened to this in some way or other. Steve, you had some thoughts about this.
If people love the song, they're going to kind of hate me a little bit. But the 45 seconds in, I was reaching for my phone. I was like, this is...
I was witness to this. I am witness to this.
Oh, it's a
love
banger.
this. Yeah, it's a banger. And then all of a sudden, it dropped into the chorus, and I've listened to it 3 times today.
Yep.
And each time I've gone, oh, okay, because I'm expecting it. But the first time when I wasn't expecting it, I almost started laughing a little bit because I was like, that's not what I expected. Because the build-up was so good. I really liked the vocals and how they're mixed and kind of synthesized, you could say.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that. And what dropped was, in my description, to be bagpipes. Which was
I know
weird
exactly
for me. It was
what
really
you
bizarre.
mean. The song in question is an artist called M or Mo or M or Meh, depending how you want to pronounce it. It's an O with a line through it. She's originally from Denmark, if I remember it rightly. So obviously my pronunciation will be horrific. But there's a song called Blur featuring one of my favourite bands called Foster the People. And it's a song called Blur, and it's really, really good. Love it. Came out November last year.
Nice.
If you know who M is, you'll know that the kind of what Steve's describing as synth bagpipes is a common theme amongst her songs.
Yeah.
Especially if you heard the massive hit, I think it was 2 summers ago now, Lean On, with Major Lazer and all that lot, which was the second most listened to song in the world at one point. Because it had like 1.5 billion views or something or other. So it was a massive hit. Hit number 1 once, I think, here, but then stayed at number 2 for like 3 months in a row. So really good artist. She's very eccentric live. I've seen her live about 3 times, mainly because my mates absolutely love her to death. So I'm just like, I'll come along for a gig. Yeah, why not? So I've seen her live a few times. She's very much like how the video portrays synth bagpipes.
I mean, if you're listening to this and you think, oh, no, that's not my street, listen to it.
Give it a
Yeah,
go.
give it a
Give it a
go.
go. It is well worth it.
I definitely don't dislike it. I want to listen to it again. That's a strange. I want to hear it. I want to hear that noise, those bagpipes again. So that's saying it's pointing in the right direction.
See if this was a show, we could play it, but alas, we can't. Tears cry.
Check it out.
But yeah, it's well worth it. It's Muh and Blur featuring Foster the People. There is a version without Foster the People, but I think it's worse because I love Foster the People. I'm very biased. But yeah, that's the tune of the week. It'll be in the comment section, not in the comment section, in the description on SoundCloud and YouTube if you want to go and check it out. I very much recommend it. Also, you will now be able to hear us on Spotify. I don't quite know how the Spotify RSS updater thing works. It just appears at some point on a Thursday. Woohoo. There is no time. It just does it when it wants. So you'll definitely get this episode out on Thursday and it will just appear because that's how the internet works.
Lovely
Jubbly. Anyways, this has been the Where's My Kit Bag podcast. I've been James.
I've been Will.
And I'm Steve.
And hopefully you'll tune in to us next week. See you then.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Where's My Kit Bag podcast. Please feel free to drop us a comment about anything you want us to cover in the section below, or drop us an email on technet@farnborough.ac.uk.